In the world of Dungeons and Dragons, there are villains, and then there are god-tier villains who don't just rule a kingdom or a continent, they run a whole plane of hell and an entire army of dragons. Hi friends, Betty Rage here, and you're watching Lashes and Lore, the show where I spill the tea on nerdy lore while I put on my makeup. And honestly, I'm not really great at either one of these things, but here we are. Let's get into it. Today, we meet Tiamat, the five-headed goddess of destruction, greed, and chaos. She's the reason that your dungeon master in-game will get that "I'm about to ruin their lives" look on their face when you ask about the cult of dragons in-game. Right, so imagine 5 dragon heads, each one a different color, each one spewing a different kind of elemental devastation. Oh, and you know, she lives in hell and longs to rule the material plane. So yeah, she's basically the ultimate final boss energy villain. Talk about a boss babe. So who is Tiamat? Well, first of all, she is not just any dragon. She is the dragon goddess of chaos, greed, and domination. She's a deity who resides in Avernus, the first layer of the 9 hells. Don't worry, I'll do a video on the 9 hells because there's no way I couldn't. Anyways, back to Tiamat. She commands all chromatic dragons, which, if you know anything about dragons, the chromatic ones are the ones who are evil. And she basically wants to take over everything. And yes, you did hear me right. She has 5 dragon heads. Each one represents a different color of the chromatic dragons: red, blue, green, black, and white. And yes, before you ask, each one of those dragon heads has its own breath weapon. And they are as follows. Red breathes fire. Blue crackles with lightning. Green spews poison. Black melts you with acid. And white, that one freezes everything in its path. So, if you thought that fighting one ancient dragon was bad enough, imagine all 5 at once, and they share a single ultra-powerful body. But let's find out where Tiamat comes from. A little history, if you will. Tiamat is not just a D&D creation. She has serious historical roots. Tiamat's origin go all the way back to Babylonian mythology. She was the goddess of salt water and chaos, often depicted as a massive serpent or dragon. In the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation myth, Tiamat gives birth to the gods, but when they betray her, she turns into a mysterious dragon in order to fight them. Epic fantasy on every fucking level. She is defeated by Marduk, the storm god, who splits her body and creates the heavens and the earth. But in regards to Dungeons and Dragons, Tiamat made her first appearance in the 1975 Greyhawk supplement by Gary Gygax. Originally, she was just a powerful villain, but over the different editions, she has evolved into a full-blown deity. And by the time the Rise of Tiamat campaign launched, she was cemented as the ultimate draconic antagonist. From ancient Babylon to modern Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, Tiamat has remained the ultimate symbol of chaos and destruction. And let's be real, we love her for that. So, like I said, Tiamat has been causing trouble in Dungeons and Dragons since the very first edition. Because let's be real, when you make a 5-headed dragon goddess, you're never gonna let players have an easy time. And she's honestly been one of the biggest villains in Dungeons and Dragons history, often appearing as the final challenge in major campaigns. Her presence dominates entire storylines, from the rise of Tiamat to the tyranny of dragons, as it should, because she's epic. And the best advice I could give to somebody who's never met Tiamat in game is, if you hear her name, start running, because stuff's about to get real wild. Of course, a goddess of destruction, she needs some devoted fanboys, right? And that is where the cult of the dragons comes through. And let me tell you, these people obsessed with Tiamat. They believe that dragons should rule the world and that Tiamat is the rightful queen of everything. I don't know, maybe female dragons running the world would actually fix a lot of things. I digress. The entire goal of the cult of the dragon is to bring Tiamat out of hell to the material plane, which, fun fact, As fun as that sounds, it's probably going to be a really bad time for everyone else. And if your dungeon master in-game introduces the cult of the dragon, that just means that they are plotting something terrible, very bad. Probably world-ending, which of course is completely above table. Your character would have no idea, probably, but you would know. All right, how would one go about fighting Tiamat? Let's say you're feeling brave, reckless, honestly reckless, and you really just want to fight Tiamat. Here's what you need to know. She is a literal god. People aren't just paying her compliments and calling her a goddess because she's gorgeous, which she is, and rightfully so. We can call her a goddess for that, but she's literally a god. And she's not just a dragon, she's the dragon, all right? When it is her turn, she can attack 5 times. That's, of course, 1 attack per head. Makes sense, right? It's not like Blue's gonna say to Red, hey, I'll sit this one out, you take over. No, I mean, she's gonna use all the things she has at her disposal each time it's her turn in the round. And we can love her and hate her for that at the same time. As I said before, each head has a different breath weapon, and they all get to go off in 1 turn. Yay! But if that's not bad enough, she's immune to most magic. So if you were planning on fireballing your way out of this one, no, that's not gonna work. Again, you're just a squishy little guy at this point. Again. So, honestly, unless you are a full team of level 20 adventurers with divine level artifacts, your best strategy, don't fight her. I mean, another way to stop her, maybe steal her away or trick her into staying in hell. Sometimes you use your noggin in game and you get way better results. It just depends on how you like to play. If you create throwaway characters to just go out and do things and it doesn't matter to you if they don't live or die, fight Tiamat. So Tiamat is basically the Beyonce of dragons. 5 heads, legendary status, and if you cross her, you will be feeling the heat. Literally. She's not only a dragon, she is the goddess dragon, the goddess of destruction. She has a cult who wants to just, unleash her upon the world, and fighting her is basically full definition of bad life choices. It's like being in a group chat with 5 different personalities, but instead of arguing about dinner plans, they're all discussing how they want to kill you. So here's today's look. I'm ready for the day. I'd like to say I have something cool to do, but I'm just getting groceries. But what happens when gods, monsters, and lost souls drift into the void between the worlds? What happens when you die and your soul doesn't reach its final destination? Well, next time on Lashes and Lore, we will journey into the astral plane, where time is meaningless, forgotten gods slumber, and creatures beyond comprehension lurk in the shadows. So buckle up. That one's gonna be a trip. I'm Betty Rage. This is Lashes and Lore. And until next time, be good to each other, make good choices, and as always, free mom hugs from me to you. Bye.